Good morning, students. Welcome back. In our previous lecture, we took the causes nth root test to test the given series whether it is converging or diverging. In today's lecture, we are going to learn about a D'Alembert ratio test, how this helps us the series is whether it is converging or diverging. Let's start. The statement of D'Alembert ratio test as follows, like this. We have an, sigma an, be a series with positive terms, and suppose that limit n tends to infinity, an plus 1 by an is equal to rho. Then the series converges if rho less than 1. The series diverges if rho greater than 1 or maybe infinite. This particular D'Alembert test is again inconclusive, means fails if rho is equal to 1. So conditions are similar to your causes nth root test, but here the limit formula is different. Okay, what we are going to check here this time, we have nth term in your series. We are taking the next term to the nth term, that is we have an, the next term will be an plus 1 and we will take its ratio an plus 1 by an. After that we will apply the limit n tends to infinity. So what we done in our causes nth root test, simply we consider nth term, that is an only we consider. For that an whole to the power of 1 by n we are considered. So now in this particular D'Alembert ratio test, so this name suggests us we have to take the ratio from n plus 1 term by nth term. So here in this series n plus 1th term is an plus 1, nth term is an. You take its ratio, then apply the limit n tends to infinity, you will get certain limit. That limit may be finite or infinite, doesn't matter. Okay, so if rho less than 1 means the limit is less than 1, as usual it will be converges. Limit is greater than 1, maybe infinite, then it will be diverges. And of course, as usual, if rho is equal to 1, then this D'Alembert test also going to be failed. It is inconclusive, means whatever the information we are given from the series is not enough for this particular D'Alembert ratio test to test whether means test is failing. If when it is going to be failed, the D'Alembert ratio test, when the limit equal to 1. Okay, so if test fails, what we have to do? We have to approach some other particular test, some other suitable test. Is it clear? Because we can't say all the series are we can solve with the help of only one type of test. As I mentioned, it's not only about a D'Alembert ratio test or causes nth root test. There are certain other tests also, like comparison test will be there, very important test. But it's unfortunate we need to discuss only two tests as per our curriculum. This is the second test. So when test fails, we have to approach some other test. You understood my point? Okay. Alright. So let's try to understood by taking some examples. So I have here one test for convergence. So meaning of this, whether it is converging or diverging, I don't know. So I have to tell some name. So I'm just asking test for convergence, the series. So here the series, what is the main difference between your causes nth root test and D'Alembert ratio test? When we should apply? If you see in our causes nth root test, all terms having some powers. Okay, nth root terms always having powers. So if you see here in other series, we don't have all terms as a powers. If you see here in the numerator, we have some factorials. So that this particular series is not suitable to solve with the help to test with the help of causes nth root test. So definitely we have to approach some other test. Here we are approaching D'Alembert ratio test. So as usual, we can write this whole series as summation un. So from that simply I will write nth term So by seeing this term, we can easily tell nth term is n factorial by n to the power of n. So as you know, in our D'Alembert ratio test, you need not only the nth term, we need n plus 1 term, that is un plus 1. Just wherever n is there in that place, you just substitute plus 1. So here n plus 1 factorial by n plus 1 whole to the power of n plus 1. Okay, so now as I said, before going to apply your formula, first try to simplify the ratio. So that is un plus 1 by un that we have to take in our formula. So before going to take in the formula, first you simplify that ratio. So just I substituted, plug in these values, un plus 1 by un, this is un, this term you take to the numerator and reverse it, and you see now we have this term. So you can simplify here in the denominator n factorial is there, right? So n plus 1 factorial I can write it as n factorial into n plus 1, so that I can cancel this and this, right? Similarly here n power n is there. So this n plus 1 whole to the power of n plus 1 means this n plus 1 up to n times into this, we can write again n plus 1. Okay, n plus 1 whole to the power of n into n plus 1. So what is your, from this n plus 1 whole to the power of n, I can take n as a common, so that I will get n power n here. And what is there in our, in the bracket, what is the term will be there? 1 plus 1 by n will be there, because n we are taken as a common, so whole to the power of n. So of course this plus 1 I written as the numerator, this power plus 1 I written as n plus 1, right? So it is very simple. Why we are writing in this way? So if you check it very carefully, now this n plus 1 will be gets cancelled, right? And n to the power of n to the power of n will be gets cancelled. Only the remaining is 1 by 1 plus 1 by n whole to the power of n. You please simplify before plugging to the formula. You should simplify this ratio un plus 1 by un. So 1 by 1 plus 1 by n whole to the power of n. Okay, so this is your ratio un plus 1 by un plus 1. Now I am applying n tends to infinity. When I apply this limit n tends to infinity, again you know this formula. This formula will tells us, what is the formula here? What is the formula? 1 plus 1 by n whole to the power of n. Okay, e, right? So you know this formula. So by D'Alembert ratio test, we can say that the series is going to be converge. Why it is converging? 1 by e means which is lesser than 1. So as per the statement, when limit is lesser than 1, this test, D'Alembert test is going to be, as per this test, the series is going to be convergent. Discuss the convergence of this particular series. See here, you may be remembered the same problem I took in our Cauchy's nth root test, because there, here also you can easily understood n square by 3 power n means powers are there. So actually this problem is suitable for Cauchy's nth root test, but we can apply the same for D'Alembert ratio test also, because only we have nth term with us, that is un. If you take un plus 1, wherever n is there, I can take n plus 1 by 3 to the power of n plus 1. So this is your un plus 1. Okay. And here you please remember one thing. Whatever your problem is able to solve with Cauchy's nth root, you can solve with the D'Alembert ratio. But whatever you are able to solve with the D'Alembert ratio test problems, you can't solve with the Cauchy's nth root test. The reason is, if you want to apply Cauchy's nth root test, usually we think like this: we should have some powers in the nth term. In all terms, we should have certain powers here, n square, 3 power n, all terms. That's why this particular problem is suitable for Cauchy's nth root test. Anyway, the same problem we want to do with the help of this D'Alembert ratio test. We have n plus un plus 1 and n, so take their ratio as usual. If I take it here, this n square by 3 to the power of n, this side, when it goes to the numerator, it will be reverse. Then this 3 power n into 3, then in that case 3 power n will be gets cancelled. This and this will be gets cancelled. Here also, if I take n as a common, so n square into 1 plus 1 by n whole square, so that time this n square will be gets cancelled. And of course, here 1 plus 1 by n means whole square. See, it is not e, because here if we have n, 1 plus 1 by n whole to the power of n, then I can tell that is the definition of your e when you apply the limit n tends to infinity. But here 1 plus 1 by n, so n tends to infinity, so this 1 by n goes to 0, so 1 square means that is 1, so 1 by 3 which is less than 1. Again, because it is a less than 1, by D'Alembert ratio test, it is going to be convergent. So you have to test the series here, n factorial 3 to the power of n by n to the power of n, summation n equal to 1 to infinity. So this is after sigma, whatever we have, that is your nth term, and from that we can write un plus 1. How to write? Wherever n is there, write down n plus 1. So that is your un plus 1. So take its ratio un plus 1 by un, and you take this denominator into the numerator by writing it reverse, so that there may be possibility for us to simplify the things very quickly. So here what I am doing the same thing, because by checking here, this is your n power n. So to get n power n here in the denominator, this is n plus 1 whole to the power of n I am writing. This plus 1 I am writing as n plus 1 in the base, n plus 1. So n plus 1 whole to the power of n into n plus 1, so like this. So in that case, what we have here, n plus 1 factorial is there, that I can write n factorial into n plus 1. So this n plus 1 will be gets cancelled, and here one more term is there, n plus 1 whole to the power of n, okay, let it be, and this n factorial and this n factorial will be gets cancelled. Right, so from the remaining, this is 3 to the power of n into 3, we can write it up. So in that case, this 3 to the power of n, 3 to the power of n will be gets cancelled, 3 will be the remaining. Right, by again from this I can take n as a common from this base, so n to the power of n into 1 plus 1 by n whole to the power of n. So that time this n to the power of n, these two will be gets cancelled, so 3 by 1 plus 1 by n whole to the power of n. Okay, so that gives you what it's going to give you. It's a definition of your e. So 3 by e, e value is 2.713. So 3 by e, always it should be greater than, it is going to be, you are going to get greater than 1. So that as per D'Alembert ratio test, un is going to be, means your given series is going to be divergent. So you have to test for convergence of this series. Okay, convergence doesn't mean that it is going to be converged. See here in this problem also, in problem 3, I am just asking discuss convergence of the series. It doesn't mean that series is going to be converged. We will frame the question in that way, whether it is converging or divergent doesn't matter. Okay, so see here also same thing, test for convergent. Okay, so this is, as you know, all terms are not in powers of some powers, otherwise you would have to use your Cauchy's nth row test. So we are not using that, because by checking these factorials, so better to take D'Alembert ratio test. So what will be the nth term here if it goes like that? Okay, so wherever n is there, for that the numerator is, if you see in all terms 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, like that we are getting. So the numerator will be n square, denominator 1 factor, 2 factor, 3 factor means it goes to the n factor. If you are able to write this un term, your problems are very simple now. So next term will be, wherever n is there, you take n plus 1, that is your un plus 1, take its ratio and try to simplify. So if I try to simplify this, here I am simplifying in the limit itself, so no problem. Here I can take n as a common, so n square 1 plus 1 by n whole square, and here in the denominator I am taking writing n plus 1 factorial as n factorial into n plus 1, so that this n factorial will be gets cancelled, this n square is also going to be gets cancelled. Okay, so now the remaining terms are this. So when n tends to infinity, 1 plus 1 by n, it goes to 1 by n means this goes to 0. So 1 to the 1 square means that will be 1 only. Numerator is 1, and the denominator when n tends to infinity, 1 by infinity, so 1 by infinity becomes 0. So as you know, it is very clear 0 is lesser than 1 when you compare with our limits, which is lesser than 1. Therefore the given series is going to be converge as per our D'Alembert ratio test. See this problem, as I said, to write your nth term is only a difficult part. This you will overcome by doing as many as possible problems. Okay, so if you see this particular problem, here I have first term, second, each term I am going to again add one more value. If you are observed, again each term will becomes looks like again series. It is going to form some particular series. So it goes to up to infinity. Anyway, let me take any one, better to take it higher terms instead of, you will not get any information from 1 itself. Better to go either third term or fourth term. Okay, so with the help of that we have to see carefully when it is continuing what is happening. 2 change is there. Okay, there may be a nth term. If you are writing in this way, 2n minus 1, when n is equal to 1, then 2 minus 1 will becomes 1, and n equal to 2, so 4 minus 1, that is 3, n equal to 3, that is 6 minus 1, that is 5. So we are going to get this particular series on the numerator, n value on the numerator. In the denominator also, if you see here 1, 5, 9, so 4, 4, 4 difference is there. With what formula it will help us, simply if you are taking 1 into all the terms, you have to get it right. So 4n minus 3, suppose if n is equal to, if you start with n equal to 1, then 4 minus 1, 4 minus 3, that is 1, n equal to 2, that is 8 minus 3, then it will be 5. So all the values we are going to generate. That's why this is your fourth term. When it goes to the nth term, at nth term I am able to write in this way, 2n minus 1 by 4n minus 3, nth term, nth level. Okay, so this is of course a little bit tough for you to remember, and of course to get it this particular logic. Similar type of problems, if you do 1 or 2, then definitely it will be easy part. Of course, once we have un, there is no difficulty to get your un plus 1. What you have to do it? This is your nth term, and n plus 1 means after this term we are going to add it in place of n. We have to take the next term means n plus 1. So in place of this n, I am going to take it n plus 1. So means 2 bracket of n plus 1, that is 2n plus 2 minus 1, that means 2n plus 1. Similarly here also in place of n I am substituting n plus 1, so that will becomes 4n plus 4 minus 3, that is 4n plus 1. Okay, be careful while taking this next term en plus 1. So we have already nth term, next term will be n plus 1, right? So once we have, and take reverse of this is un plus 1 which is there, this whole term, and un I am taking reversely, so that in that case up to this 4n minus 3, these denominators, and 2n minus 1, these values are going to be cancelled. Only the remaining part will be this. Okay, 2n plus 1 by 4n plus 1. And of course we have to apply the limit for this ratio. limit n tends to infinity, directly if you apply the limit infinity, it is infinity by infinity form, which is indeterminate form. So before that, if possible, you simplify that. If I take it n as a common, then in the numerator as well as in the denominator, 2 plus 1 by n in the numerator, 4 plus 1 by n in the denominator. This n will be gets cancelled. Now if you apply the limit n tends to infinity, we got 2 by 4 because 1 by n becomes 0. Here also same thing. So 2 by 4 is nothing but 1 by 2. So which is 0.5 less than 1. So when your limit is less than 1, by D'Alembert ratio test, it is going to be convergent. See, this is one more problem. Find the nature of the series, means whether it is converging or diverging, or maybe some you have to discuss some other things also, because x is unknown variable here. Based on x also, if get the limit some constant value, then you can easily tell. If you get the limit as some x, then based on x you can tell that whether it is converging or diverging. Right. So if you are going this, let you check here, this is n, if you assume, then n plus 1 under root n by n plus 1 x to the power of n. If you go on like this, what is your nth term? Under root n by n plus 1 x to the power of 1. So of course next n plus 1 means wherever n is there, then you have to substitute n plus 1. So take its ratio and you please simplify. Very simple. So what you got here, u limit, if you apply the limit n tends to infinity, un plus 1 by un, then what you got, n plus 1 under root n of n plus 2. Okay, if I take n as a common in the numerator as well as in the denominator, okay, what I am going to get it here, this is 1n, this is 1n. So I will get it root n into root n, that value will be n here, and I am just taking the common from this, so 1 plus 2 by n in the denominator. Numerator also n I am taken common, so these two will be gets cancelled. 1 plus 1 by n, when n tends to infinity, 1 plus 1 by n, that is 1. Here 1 plus 2 by n, 2 by infinity, that will be, so this part will be 0, so means simply 1 by 1 into x, that is x. Okay, so here x is which is unknown variable, we can't decide. Simply, as you know, as per our ratio test, it is convergent if this limit is lesser than 1. It is divergent, it is greater than 1. Suppose if x is equal to 1, then definitely this D'Alembert ratio test is going to be failed. Okay, right. Let's see one more problem here. Test the convergence of the series. So summation n equal to 1 to infinity. I was given nth term here directly, because after summation always we will get the nth term. So for this we have to take n plus 1, wherever n is there, you please take n plus 1 in place of n, so that we are able to write the next term. So that should be very careful while writing. So take its ratio, en by en plus 1, all will be gets cancelled other than this term. Okay, so from this, in the numerator and denominator, if you directly apply the limits, you will get infinity by infinity form. That's why you take n common both in numerator and denominator, and this will be gets cancelled, and then you apply the limit, then we will get simply 3x. So as I said, this 3x tells us that based on the value of this 3x, I can say that whether the limit is converging or diverging. It is very clear. If 3x is less than 1, it is converging. 3x is greater than 1, diverging. 3x equal to 1, then test will be failed. So when 3x equal to 1 means simply x is equal to 1 by 3. Here, if 3x less than 1 means if you solve for x, x is less than 1 by 3. Okay. So you can discuss about 3x itself, no problem. Okay, only thing is we have to test whether it is converging or diverging. You can't test directly because we got 3x. So depend on this 3x, whether it is greater than 1, less than 1 or equal to 1. Based on that, I can tell that whether the series is going to be converge or diverge. So I was given certain problems for you as a homework. You please do all these, and if you have any doubts, you can ask in our regular class. Thank you.